Yo, what's up guys, it's Martarts, and today I'm bringing you the Gun Lance tutorial. So, I used it a little bit in Monster Hunter 4. I was never really into it because it was quite a slow weapon compared to other weapons like Dual Blades or even Charge Blade and Insect Glaive. But regardless, it's a good mix of the Lance, and I'm not really going to say bow gun because it's not really ranged in any sense. But it's still an all-around really fun weapon, and you should try it out. So I'm going to get right into it with the standard attacks. So you're going to want to use Y for your regular thrusts. You can chain 3 of them, just like the regular lance. You can get some decent damage off with them. You can then hold the right trigger to guard. You can move slowly while guarding. The guard is the same guard as the lance, so it's still really strong. If a monster hits you, it's going to deal a little bit of damage to you and then take away some of your stamina. You can block through roars, at least I think so. I think I blocked through one. Anyways, while blocking, you can press Y to do a up thrust. So you get a mix of both the lateral and the guard thrust. And you can chain the guard thrust right after the lateral thrust. So you can hit 3 of those and then go right into the guard thrust. You cannot do the opposite. It stops you. So you can just mix it up between the two. Really get a nice feel for it. After each attack, you can get a backstep. So just press A in any direction and you'll do a dodge, which you're invulnerable for most, if not all of it. And it's really good. If you do it backwards and hold the back thumbstick, you can actually go further. So if a monster repositions, you can reposition yourself and continue with your chains. Right? Now we're going to get into the part that makes the gun lance fun, shelling. So you press B to shell, and it's going to fire a shot. You can see in the top left corner that it used one of my ammo, and it goes down. Get into that later. So shelling, you can throw in whenever you want, and it can go after any attack or on its own. To reload, you hold your guard and press B. And you can pretty much just get some nice damage off like that. Now, shelling does eat through your sharpness, so you're going to want to make sure you always have a whetstone ready, and you're going to be sharpening a lot with this weapon. But anyways, shelling is a real nice mix-up, so you're not always doing the same thing every single time, and you can pretty much do everything. If you're doing your guard thrusts, it will actually quick reload you, so you can go right into it and get a reload right off of your guard thrust. So it's really good if you're trying to mix in and try to get the most damage possible. Now we got the worm stake cannon, which is after you do 2 consecutive shellings, you get that, and it does quite a bit of damage. Now it has its own little bar under your sharpness, and it can be reloaded with your ammo. So I'm actually going to sharpen my weapon since I'm already getting fairly low. Now you can also combo this into everything. So just make sure you get 2 shellings off, and then the third one will be the worm stake cannon. I think that's how it's pronounced. It shoves it in. It will hit a bunch of times, so if you have an element, you can be dealing a ton of elemental damage or status damage. Now, make sure you have it always reloaded because you always want to have it on hand. And we're going to get into the very fun, very satisfying Wyvern Fire. So while guarding, if you press Y and B at the same time, you do this charge up. It does quite a bit of damage, and you're going to have a hefty cooldown on it. You can see the weapon is glowing red, and that means you can't use it. and it'll take some time before you can get that back. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about shelling is after you do one shell, you can hold it and get a powered up shell. Now, I honestly don't see its worth, as it doesn't do that much more damage, but it takes quite a bit more time. But that's just one thing to mention. So now let's get into some combos. If you press Y and B out of your guard, you'll do this swipe that goes up. Now this can be used to combo into a lot. Really, your main one is going to be up and then Y. Press Y again, and you get some hefty damage there. After that, if you follow it with a B and have your worm stake cannon ready, you can get a nice combo off here. And that's just a lot of damage going out. You can also follow it up with only one Y, and then you'll fire all of your ammo if you do that. So if you do it twice, Y, you'll fire your worm stake cannon. And again, you only do it once, you'll fire all of your ammo. So both are decent ways to get quite a bit of damage off. Remember, always be sharpening, because you're going to eat through your sharpness really fast. And that's pretty much all of the basics to the gun lance. You can do jumping attacks. Now it's not great, but it can get you a mount if you are near a monster and actually hit it. It does mounting damage. Same with if you slide, you can jump and get a thrust. So really your main thing is just going to be chaining together your unique combination of your regular thrusts, your upward guard thrusts, and your shells. And you can get some really nice damage off, and it's fairly satisfying. So as you can see, the Wyvern's fire has went off of cooldown. Now it's extremely long, so I'd save this for if a monster is sleeping or if a monster is down. Now I'd rather a greatsword user or hammer user get a fully charged shot on a sleeping monster than you, because as you can see, the Wyvern's fire, again guarding and press Y and B, does 3 sets of damage instead of just 1, so it's not all constant. So I'm not sure, I don't think all 3 shots will get the bonus damage on a sleeping monster. Regardless, if a monster's down, that's what you should use. If the monster's not down and it's on cooldown, then I would definitely go for your YYB and shoot your thing out. Always make sure reloaded to have it. But that's pretty much it for the gun lance. It's a really fun weapon, and if you haven't tried it out yet, I highly recommend it. You can get a lot done with it. Alright, thank you for watching. If you haven't checked out the bow or the insight glaive tutorial, make sure you check those out. Those are also in the channel, and I want to thank you guys all for being here. See ya.